Hello everybody and welcome back to LEGO Empire, and in today's video I'm going to be ranking every single LEGO Star Wars set from worst to best. And before I get into the video, I don't think it needs to be said, this is my opinion, so if you do disagree, let me know in the comments below what your ranking is, or just any sets that you disagree with my placement on. And with that being said, let's get right into this video. But before we start the ranking, I just want to let you know the conditions for a good battle pack, at least in my opinion, are the minifigures are army buildable, so it makes sense to army build, and the minifigures included are optimal for army building. The set is affordable, it's a good vehicle or build in the set, and the minifigures are good quality. So with that out of the way, let's get right into this with the worst LEGO Star Wars Battle Pack of all time, number 45 on the list, being set 75167, the Bounty Hunter Battle Pack from 2017. With 122 parts and 4 minifigures, this set would have absolutely killed it if it was a regular set. But it's a battle pack and it's 4 named characters, so obviously you can see the problem with this set. It's pretty affordable at $14.99 with 4 great minifigures, but it's just not a good battle pack. At number 44, we have the Battle on Seleucami, which you may be wondering, how is this a battle pack? And I'm not really sure if it is. But on Brickset, it is listed as a battle pack and has that $14.99 battle pack price, so I'm really not sure what's going on there. I guess it is a battle pack with 178 parts, released in 2014. It comes with some great minifigures that could technically be used for army building, but this set is just weird. It comes with 1 clone trooper and a few battle droids, and just doesn't make sense. It's a whole different type of set than a normal battle pack. I'm not really sure why it's considered a battle pack. It just does not fit at all. And then number 43 spot, we have the Jedi and Clone Troopers Battle Pack, set number 75206, and this retailed for $14.99 in 2018. It included 2 clone troopers, which looked great, but also 2 named Jedi with Ki-Adi-Mundi and Barriss Offee, which obviously is not optimal for army building, although this set has pretty good minifigures and is a great one-off to buy maybe one of, but any more than that and you're going to get a Ki-Adi-Mundi and Barriss Offee army, which definitely isn't great. So again, a good set, but not a good battle pack. At the number 42 spot, we have the 332nd Clone Troopers Battle Pack from last summer. This retailed for $19.99 and is a pretty good set overall. The build isn't bad, and the minifigures are okay, but I think where this set really falls short is including a Captain Vaughn. Doesn't make sense for army building at all, and I will say, not a huge fan of these regular troopers having helmet holes. I mean, maybe one of them in the set having helmet holes would make more sense, because you could add attachments to that one trooper, but every trooper in the set having helmet holes, I'm just not a huge fan of. But the main problem with this set is including a named character. At the number 41 spot, we have the Elite Clone Trooper and Commando Droid Battle Pack. It came out in 2012 and retailed for $12.99. Now, this is probably a very controversial set to put this low in the ranking, but the ARC Trooper included is a named character, even though it's not technically stated on the box. And there's Commando Droids. Commando Droids, they're not really great for building an army, and including a named clone character is also not great. This set would be lower on the list even if it wasn't a clone battle pack and wasn't loved so much, but unfortunately it has to go this low just because it's not great for army building. And at number 40, we have the Inferno Squad Battle Pack. Now, the only reason this set makes it so high, with technically so many named characters, is because it's an Imperial Battle Pack. I love the Empire. Look at my channel name. You already know the deal. This set came out in 2019. It retailed for $14.99. Great set, not a great battle pack, but I do love it because it is Imperials. Next up at number 39, we have the First Order Specialist Battle Pack. Came out in 2018 with 108 parts for the Last Jedi movie. It retailed for $14.99 and included 2 of these First Order Executioner Troopers and some officer figures, and I think it's fair to say that this isn't great for army building. First of all, you only really see a couple of these Executioner Stormtroopers in the movie, and nobody wants to build an army of these other lame figures. Then next up at the number 38 spot, we have the Assassin Droids Battle Pack. Came out in 2009 for $11.99. Now, I think the value for this set is absolutely amazing, but who really wants to build an army of assassin droids? I'd say 1 to 3 of these sets, and you're pretty much good to go forever as far as assassin droids go. We see a couple of them in the Clone Wars, but just not enough for there to be a battle pack, in my opinion. At number 37, we have the First Order battle pack coming out in 2016 for The Force Awakens and retailing for $12.99. Now, a lot of people really don't like this battle pack because of the 2 officer minifigures it includes, but I think that's the only real problem with this set. The build is fine, and the minifigures, aside from those 2 weird officers, are decent. At the number 36 spot, we have the Shadow Troopers Battle Pack that came out in 2015 for $12.99, based off of the Force Unleashed video game. Now, this is another one of those sets where it's a cool set, great figures, great price, cool build, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense to army build these Shadow Troopers from a video game that most of you probably haven't even played. And then next up, at the 35 spot, we have the Senate Commando Troopers Battle Pack. Also came out in 2015 and retailed for $12.99 with 106 parts. Now, this is very similar to the other battle pack, but it is a bit better because Senate Commandos are a more well-known troop, and they're much better for army building. I'd say if you bought maybe 5 to 10 of these packs, you'd still have a reasonable amount of troopers that make sense for you to get. So this is a good battle pack, but only to an extent. Once you pass that 5 to 10 range, then you're really having way too many of these troopers, in my opinion. And they do show up in decent numbers in the Clone Wars, but just not enough to warrant a full battle pack, at least compared to all of these other battle packs that rank higher on the list. At number 34, we have the Death Star Troopers, retailing for $12.99 in 2014. Again, much of the same story here. No one wants to build an army of Imperial Gunners and Royal Guards. I do like the build, though. The build is interesting. I love that build. But the figures themselves, really, you only need to buy maybe 2 to 3 of these sets, and you're pretty much set. And next up, at number 33, we have the Elite Praetorian Guard Battle Pack, released in 2019 for $14.99. This is much of the same story as all the recent sets on this ranking. It doesn't make a lot of sense to build an army of a ton of Praetorian Guards. I do like the battle pack because you could take this set, buy a few of them, and add them onto your throne room set, and you'd have a really good amount of Praetorian Guards. But anything past 3 sets does not make sense to have that many Praetorian Guards, and that is why it ranks so low on the list. At the number 32 spot, we have the original Snowtrooper Battle Pack that came out in 2010 and retailed for $11.99. Now, this battle pack is decent for army building, much better than any other ones so far on this list, but it still falls short because 2 of the minifigures are not Snowtroopers or anything related. They're just kind of officer or other related figures that you don't really need as many of. I like their inclusion in this set. I'm glad they were included in this set because eventually we got a better battle pack based off Hoth, but really not a great look for this set, and the build itself is horrendous. I mean, I see what they were going for, but it really did not stick the landing, in my opinion. Next up on the list, we have set 31, the Sith Troopers Battle Pack, retailing for $14.99 in 2020. This battle pack would have been ranked much higher on the list if it didn't include an officer and 2 jet troopers. In my opinion, it should have gone with 3 regular Sith troopers and 1 jet trooper. That would have been much better battle pack, but instead, LEGO kind of messed up the figure quantities in the figure selection, in my opinion, and it's just a little awkward, is all. It's a good battle pack, and it's a nice build, but it's just not great for army building because you're going to have to either sell off or just get rid of some of those figures for your army to make sense. Next up, at number 30, we have the Tatooine Battle Pack that came out in 2018 for $14.99. Now, I really love this set because Tatooine is one of my favorite planets, and the only way I think this set really falls short is the astromech droid included. It's going to get pretty old when you have a ton of those, and a lot of people probably don't like this set because it comes with Jawas and a Tusken Raider, and they maybe don't want a ton of those in their army, but how else would you get a sizable amount of those? I mean, most of the Jawa and Tusken Raider sets don't include a ton of them, so you need some way, some affordable way to get more of them and enough of them. So in my opinion, this battle pack was actually kind of needed, but also it is still kind of awkward when you compared to the ones that rank higher on this list, and the astromech droid is not great. Do love the build though. And at number 28, we have the First Order Specialist Battle Pack, retailing for $14.99 in 2018. This set was an amazing battle pack when compared to the first First Order Battle Pack. It came with a Flame Trooper, 2 regular First Order Stormtroopers, and an Officer, which is in a new color, which I really love how this set improved upon the last one, and in my opinion, maybe even has the better build with that nice little speeder that you can attach the batons to. Really cool set. But it's First Order, it includes an Officer, there are a few shortcomings here and there, but in my opinion, it is by far the best First Order Battle Pack. At the number 27 spot, we have the Imperial Patrol Battle Pack, retailing for $14.99 in 2018. This set comes with some very cool new patrol troopers from the Solo movie, and some other characters from the movie, but those other characters included aren't really worth army building, and it's just not a set that you want to buy many of, maybe 5 to 10 of them at most, but eventually you're going to get sick of those other figures in these set. The Imperial Patrol Troopers, though, absolutely love them, and the build is probably one of the best battle pack builds you'll ever see, because it actually includes a vehicle that makes sense and that you actually get to see in the movie, so I really love that about it. At the 26th spot, we have the Clone Trooper Battle Pack from 2011, retailing for $11.99. This is a beloved set for a lot of people, and that is why it has made it so high up. It includes 2 Bomb Squad Troopers, which is perfect if this was just a standalone set, but in my opinion, it definitely should have swapped around some of the amounts of figures you're getting. Maybe with 1 Bomb Squad, 2 Horn Company Troopers, and 1 ARF Trooper. That would have been a nice figure selection, because when you buy multiple, you don't have way too many Bomb Squad Troopers, and not enough ARF Troopers, and not enough Horn Company Troopers. I think that would have made a lot more sense, but the build included is an interesting one, and is not bad, all things considered, for the other Bark Speeders that are coming out along this time. At the number 25 spot, we have the Hoth Rebel Trooper Battle Pack. Now, this Battle Pack came out the same time as the original Snow Trooper one in 2010, also retailing for $11.99, but its figure selection is just so much better along with the build. The build makes a lot more sense for a Rebel Battle Pack, or a Battle Pack in general. It's an actual vehicle, and the figures included make sense for the scene. The pilot might be a little bit out of place, but also not really, because you need a lot of pilots to pilot those snow speeders to fight the AT-ATs, so it makes enough sense, and the Hoth Rebel Troopers included come with all the accessories needed, in my opinion, for a good Hoth Rebel Trooper. This was a great set for its time. And at the number 24 spot, we have the 501st Specialist Clone Troopers Battle Pack, retailing for $19.99 in 2023. This set is an amazing set, one of the best Clone Trooper Battle Packs of all time. The only reason it ranks so low is because, number 1, the build isn't going to be great when you buy many of them. That's why there's good alternate builds for this battle pack, but having that AV7 cannon, having a ton of them, isn't great. And also, who really wants an army of specialist troopers? These clone troopers aren't going to look great when you have like 20 of these battle packs. That's just way too much. And 2 heavy clone troopers are included, which I think is an interesting choice. Maybe they should have taken out one of those heavy troopers and just threw in a regular 501st clone trooper. I think that would have rounded out the set a lot better, and this set would probably be much higher on the list, but because there's 2 heavies included and the build isn't great for army building, it is this low. At the number 23 spot, we have the Clone Troopers Battle Pack from 2009. The battle pack that basically started all battle packs, the mother of all battle packs, retailing for $11.99. This is a fan favorite battle pack, which is why it's so controversial for me to put it this low on the list. But I don't have a ton of attachment to this battle pack because I actually didn't buy it when it came out, and I wasn't even into LEGO Star Wars when it came out. So the only shortcomings this battle pack really has are, for one, the build. It's, I don't know, a lot of people like it, and I do think it's fine, but it's not my favorite build. All the other builds that are above this pretty much rank higher for me. And then getting a gunner in this pack isn't the best thing. I mean, these Clone Wars Phase 1 clones also aren't my favorite troopers, aren't my favorite type of clone troopers. So that is why it ranks so low. It's hard to explain, but this just doesn't beat out any of these sets above it. At the number 22 spot, we have the Endor Rebel Trooper and Imperial Battle Pack coming out in 2012 for $12.99. Now, this set would have ranked a lot higher if that build was better. The minifigures are perfect in my opinion. the minifigure selection at least. Of course, if the minifigures came out today looking like this, that'd be horrendous. For the time, the minifigures were amazing, but the build is really where it's lacking. Just not a great build. Looks like a 4+ set, even worse maybe. It's just really not worth it for that build. I'd definitely use it for parts, scrap it for parts, and just use the minifigures if I bought many of these. But the minifigures are great, and this is a great set for army building. At the number 21 spot, we have the Clone Troopers vs. Droidekas Battle Pack set 75000, come out in 2013 for $12.99. This set released alongside the 2013 Battle Pack, so you could fill it up with all of your Clone Troopers. Now, a lot of people don't like this set because of the Droidekas included and that they took up a minifigure spot, which is kind of fair. I understand where they're coming from, but if the Droidekas took up the build spot instead of the minifigure spot, then we couldn't have gotten this amazing clone command station, which I absolutely love this build. I think LEGO did a great job on it, especially for a battle pack build, and I love these RP1 clone troopers that are included, the regular one and the sergeant, and I think it makes sense to include a sergeant in a set like this because it is the most uncommon variant aside from the regular clone trooper, so it makes sense to be included in a battle pack, and I don't really know what other set this could have fallen into. And the Droidekas included, I actually really like how they look, and there isn't any other set that they come out in where it's extremely affordable to get Droidekas, so I think this was kind of a needed battle pack, even though many people aren't a fan. Now at the number 20 spot, we have the Republic Troopers vs. Sith Troopers battle pack coming out in 2013 for $12.99. Now, this set, by all accounts, is actually probably the perfect versus battle pack. In fact, I don't have a huge problem with the set itself. It's just New Republic Troopers. They're kind of obscure, and that's why, in my opinion, it doesn't make a lot of sense to army build this, because I'm not really into the Old Republic a ton, don't have a lot of attachment to it, so if I were to buy this set, I wouldn't buy a lot of them, just because I'm not really attached to this universe or time period of Star Wars at all. At the number 19 spot, we have the Mandalorian Battle Pack coming out in 2011 for $11.99. This is the Clone Wars Death Watch Mandalorian Battle Pack, and probably one of the best battle packs of all time. And the only reason it ranks so low is, for one, looking at these 2011 minifigures and comparing them to 2023, 2024 minifigures, it's really hard to rank this one above that one. But as a concept, this battle pack is pretty much perfect. And I love the build, love the minifigure selection, absolutely amazing set, but it just falls short because of the minifigure quality itself, which I don't blame this set, but I also can't put it above other sets that are just better because of the figure quality. At the number 18 spot, we have the Stormtrooper Battle Pack that came out in 2007 for $9.99. This is the Imperial Dropship Battle Pack. Absolutely amazing set, okay? Love this set, but the only reason it's so low is because its predecessor does a much better job because of the figure quality and the build. The build in this set, love the concept, but the execution isn't the greatest. It's a pretty minuscule build, pretty outdated, and the minifigures themselves are nice, and I do really like them, but again, no leg print kind of stings. It's 2007, of course, humble beginnings, great battle pack for the time, but just doesn't stand up to the other battle packs on the list. And right above it, at number 17, we have the original Clone Trooper Battle Pack, retailing for $9.99, and of course, releasing in 2007. This Clone Battle Pack is, I'd say, very similar to how I feel about the Stormtrooper Dropship Battle Pack. You know, it's an amazing battle pack, pretty much perfect execution for the time, but it doesn't stand up to the battle packs nowadays, and that's where I'm going to leave it. At the number 16 spot, we have the Rebel Trooper Battle Pack coming out in 2017 for $12.99. This is based off of the Rogue One movie. I love how these camouflage Rebels look. It's a new look for Rebels, and we haven't seen anything like it since Rogue One. I absolutely love how interesting and unique they are, but they're also good to have en masse for an army because we do see them in large numbers in the Rogue One movie, and obviously, it's a Rebel Trooper. We know they're going to be in large amounts. It's, you know, it's the whole Rebel Alliance. You can have the whole Rebel Alliance made up of these types of troopers. And the build itself is decent. Not my favorite build, but also not bad. And then at the number 15 spot, we have the Mandalorian Battle Pack from 2020, retailing for $14.99. Now, much like the other Mandalorian Battle Pack, this is pretty much a perfect battle pack as a concept. But the only thing where this falls short is we don't see a ton of these style Mandalorians with this kind of colored armor in mass. So it's not ideal to have more than maybe 15 or 20 of these battle packs, in my opinion, but you can have a pretty decent amount, and for the normal person, they're not going to collect more than 15 most likely anyway, so this makes sense for a normal person to build, and is practically perfect. It's also worthwhile to say, like, as of 10 or 20 rankings ago, none of the battle packs I'm ranking now are actually bad. It's just a matter of which ones are better than the one I'm currently ranking. And then next up, at the number 14 spot, we have the original Rebel Trooper Battle Pack, coming out for $11.99, including 4 Rebel Fleet Trooper minifigures. This is, by all accounts, the perfect battle pack with such a good build. I cannot stress how amazing this build is. It works, you can fit all of your Rebel Troopers in, and it's just absolutely perfect. And in my opinion, if they released this set nowadays and updated the minifigures but kept the build relatively the same, with just a few modifications, this set would be ready to re-release as far as the build goes, because it is just so good. There isn't much you could really update about it, and as a concept, the build works amazing. Absolutely love this set. It's like 99% perfect, but of course, falls short just a bit because the minifigures are, 2007 minifigures and just fall a little bit short because of that quality issue, and it's a different time, but pretty much perfect set beyond the figure quality. And at the number 13 spot, we have the Resistance Trooper Battle Pack, probably one of the most underrated battle packs of all time, in my opinion. Came out in 2016 for $12.99 alongside the Force Awakens movie. And this set, I'm not sure why it gets any hate, to be honest. The build really reminds me of the original Rebel Trooper Battle Pack. It just works perfectly as a battle pack build. It's in scale, fits your troopers, and looks great. And the figures included, it's a perfect minifigure selection. Love those newer, unique helmets, and also love the variation of trooper faces and that there is an officer in this set. For some reason, this officer just works for the set because it's not like any other officers, like an Imperial officer, which will stand out next to a Stormtrooper. It's actually the same color as the other troopers in the set, which in my opinion really makes it work for a battle pack because it all kind of fits together. All the figures fit together and they just mesh really well. And at the number 12 spot, we have the 501st Legion Clone Troopers. Came out in 2020 for $29.99. Now, I really wish this set was a normal battle pack or maybe just a little bit more expensive than a battle pack, but pretty much everything about this set is perfect. The HDRT could have used some work. Looking at it nowadays, it does look a little blocky and obviously oversized, but honestly, beyond it being so oversized, it just looks kind of blocky to me. The Bark Speeder is fine, and the minifigures included are great, but it's just overpriced. That's the only problem with it. $29.99 is not enough and will not fly, but $30 battle packs are not a bad concept, and that's why you'll see a different battle pack, very similar, ranked very high on this list. And at the number 10 spot, we have the Clones vs. Battle Droids Mega Battle Pack. Came out in 2024, January, for $29.99 with some amazing minifigures. This is the perfect army builder for droids and clones alike, and the builds included are pretty much perfect in my opinion. The speeder and the clone and droid builds pay a lot of homage to the older battle packs while also giving us something new with this tri-droid, and I think the way LEGO executed this set while giving homage to fans who love the original battle packs but also giving us new things for the newer fans, it's just absolutely amazing how they blended those two things together and really created something special here. And I think for the $29.99 price, it is more than justified, especially when compared to the 501st Clone Trooper Battle Pack. And at the number 9 spot, we have the original Droid Battle Pack, retailing for $9.99 in 2007. For just $10, you get all of these droids and a perfect build. This set is pretty much the perfect battle pack. I can't think of a battle pack better than this, except the minifigures themselves is the only reason it ranks low, just because it's battle droids. Battle droids are kind of like half a figure, they're not really a full minifigure, and that's kind of a weird thing for me to say in a battle pack ranking video, but that's the only reason that it ranks lower than these other sets. At the number 8 spot, we have the Geonosis Troopers Battle Pack, retailing for $12.99 in 2015. I vividly remember getting this battle pack for Christmas, and it was just an amazing battle pack. I mean, these troopers are kind of obscure, which is the only reason they aren't ranking even higher up, but the battle pack itself, for 13 bucks, you get 2 airborne troopers and 2 regular clone troopers. Just amazing figures. Really love how they're designed. And the ATRT, even though it has that massive stud shooter, honestly, that never really bothered me as a kid because it was like a little minigun. You could just slide it across and rapid fire those studs, which I actually kind of liked when I was younger. And even now, I can admit it does make the build look worse, but it doesn't bother me to the point of disliking the build. At the number 7 spot, we have the Utapau Troopers Battle Pack coming out for $12.99 in 2014. Very similar to the Geonosis Troopers Battle Pack. And the reason this ranks higher than that one is, the reason it ranks this high at all is pretty much everything I mentioned in the Geonosis Battle Pack. It comes with 2 airbornes, 2 regular troopers. The build is great being a tri-droid, so the clone troopers actually have something to fight. It's kind of like getting 5 figures in one battle pack, in my opinion, because you get this big droid build that the clones can go up against, which really helps for playability, and it's just a good build in general for any collector. And the 212 are a more popular clone legion, so it makes more sense to army build these than, for example, the Geonosis clone troopers. And at the number 6 spot, we have the Kashyyyk Troopers Battle Pack coming out in 2014 for $12.99. Again, very similar to the other 2 battle packs I just mentioned. The only reason it ranks higher is because I love those clone Kashyyyk troopers with those interesting helmets, and getting the 41st Scout Battalion as regular clone troopers in LEGO just really enhances this battle pack's value for me. Looking at the Battlefront 2 game and comparing it to this, it's just really cool to see a more niche clone get into a set that also has a more popular clone. So it's like you're army building 2 different things at once, but they also work together because they're both Kashyyyk troopers. It's kind of hard to explain, but I hope you get what I mean by that. And this also just holds a good place in my heart because the build itself really works for this set and for the environment it's on. I mean, Swamp Speeder on Kashyyyk kind of makes sense. There's some more murky, swampy areas on Kashyyyk. And again, for that $12.99 price, getting these amazing clone trooper figures is always good. And getting into the top 5, this is where it gets controversial. This is where I think I'm going to lose a lot of you, and a lot of you are going to be saying, hey, what the heck are you talking about? But let's just get right into this. So at the number 5 spot, we have the Imperial Dropship 20th Anniversary Edition Battle Pack. Came out in 2019 for $19.99 and included an extra Han Solo Anniversary minifigure, which actually would hurt this set's ranking on the list. But I'm going to ignore it because, in my opinion, it's not really a part of the battle pack itself. It's just an add-on, just a bonus, and I think it should be viewed as part of the whole set. As a reason to dislike the set, it should just enhance the set. It's an extra figure, and if you army build the set, you're just gonna have some extra Han Solos and do whatever with them. But in my opinion, it really doesn't hurt having this extra anniversary figure in a set. But if it did take up one of the main figure slots, that would make sense, and I would definitely not include it this high up in the list. But it is a bonus figure after all. Now, I love this set for the same reason I love the original. It is perfect for a battle pack. Comes with 3 regular troopers and 1 slightly more obscure shadow trooper. So it's like 1 special trooper, 3 regular troopers, and the build can fit all the minifigures on, and it's just super polished up compared to the old version. It is just an amazing build. Great part selection on there. Love what LEGO did with this build, and of course, like I said, the minifigures are great, and getting that Han Solo for free, or as a bonus, I guess, is just nice, and it's a nice little add-on. It doesn't really make or break the set. I just think it's like you get a Han Solo, it's nothing crazy. And at the number 4 spot, we have the Battlefront 1 Rebel Trooper Battle Pack. This came out for $12.99 in 2017 or 2016. I think I might have the date wrong on here. But this battle pack comes with 2 aliens and 2 human rebel troopers. And it comes with this special jetpack mold and this really cool speeder you can actually fit a gunner on the back of. And that is just amazing. Love the build for this set. And the minifigures themselves I love so much because usually you don't see aliens in a battle pack. But for the Rebel Alliance, it was actually common, if you didn't know, for many aliens to join the cause because the Empire was against aliens. I forgot the actual word to use for that, but like racist towards aliens or something along those lines. So a lot of aliens joined the Rebel Alliance. So I think it's definitely cool to have a battle pack where you can actually add both humans and aliens to your Rebel Alliance. And at the number 3 spot, we have the Snowtrooper Battle Pack. Came out in 2022 for $19.99, and this is pretty much the perfect battle pack. There's one small issue I'll get into in a second, but the minifigures are amazing. Very similar to the Imperial Dropship Battle Pack as far as the figures go, with 3 normal Snowtroopers and 1 cool little variant that also fits in the set with the brand new Hoth Scout Trooper. And the builds themselves are nice for 20 bucks. Love what's included. You get a snow barrier, a speeder, and a turret, which is just great. There's something for all the minifigures to do in this set relating to the build, which is killer. I love that about this set. And the only problem this set has are the waist capes. The Snowtrooper waist capes are actually printed on in this set. Now, this doesn't bother me as much as it would if a clone had a printed waist cape, because Snowtroopers before this actually didn't get any leg printing. So because of this comma being printed on to the legs, that's the reason I think they even got leg printing, or that's the only way LEGO could really include leg printing, because they didn't know what else to really put on the legs, if that makes sense, because they never did that beforehand. So maybe that's because we got leg printing, but overall, I think this set would just be much better if there was physical waist capes included. At the number 2 spot, we have the Imperial Troop Transport Battle Pack set 75078, came out for $12.99 in 2015. This is the Star Wars Rebel Stormtrooper Battle Pack. Now, the reason this ranks so high, it includes 4 regular troopers, 4 stormtroopers, which is perfect for army building. You can buy so many of these battle packs and it will always make sense for you because it's just stormtroopers. And I just love that about this set. You can really grow your army. And a lot of people don't like this set because it is based off the Star Wars Rebel Stormtrooper look, which is animated, but you know, it's kind of where it flip-flops for me. A lot of people love the Clone Wars Clone Trooper battle packs, but that's where they lose me because I'm not a huge fan of the way Clone Troopers look in the Clone Wars when you compare it to, 2020 style and realistic style. But when it comes to Stormtroopers, I really, really love how they look in animated, and this is the only battle pack ever with animated style Stormtroopers, which is why it's up so high. Also because it's 4 Stormtroopers in 1 battle pack, and the build can fit them all on. Makes sense. The build is actually based off a vehicle from Star Wars Rebels, and it is scaled down to a point where it actually doesn't look goofy even. It just makes sense. Even though it's scaled down, it makes sense for a battle pack, and it fits all the troopers. So this is probably one of the most perfect battle packs ever if you are a fan of the Star Wars Rebel Stormtroopers. If you're not, totally get it. That kind of varies person by person, but it did exactly what it was supposed to do as a battle pack, especially for a brand new show. This was a perfect promotion for a new show. Just a great battle pack. And for the best battle pack of all time, in my incredibly biased opinion, we have the Imperial Troopers Battle Pack, retailing for $12.99 in the great year of 2017, set 75167, coming with 2 perfect Rogue One Stormtroopers, 2 Death Troopers, all new, exclusive to this set, and the build included is like an Imperial version of the ATRT, which it's kind of funny, kind of silly, but also kind of digging that concept. Really love it, to be honest. It's kind of similar to the Clone Walker battle pack based off the Clone Wars. It's like that set, but it's Imperial, which is what I love about it. And that is the reason this battle pack is so great. I love Imperials. I love the Stormtroopers included. Perfectly executed, in my opinion. Maybe white hips instead of black hips would make them a little bit better. But other than that, absolutely amazing battle pack. The definition of battle pack. Perfect battle pack. There's really nothing else to say. I just love this set. Anyway, that is my ranking of every single battle pack ever made in LEGO Star Wars. This is probably one of my longest videos ever, so I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like and comment down below your ranking of LEGO Star Wars battle packs from worst to best. But if you don't have the time to, go through all 45 battle packs, you can just put down maybe a few of your favorites or just some rankings on my list that you didn't really agree with. Would love to see what you guys have to say, and I will be looking at every comment I can. So with that being said, I will see you all in the next video. Have an amazing day. Peace out.